Hello folks, welcome to the latest What's New in Microsoft 365 and Teams for the 1st to the 17th of October. We're going to go through OneDrive, SharePoint, Stream, Teams, Viva. Then we're going to have a look at other items across Microsoft 365. So the type of things that didn't fit into any of those previous apps that I've just mentioned. Now remember, we look at what's new, what's late, some bite-sized stuff, and some things that are a little bit further in the future, and we call those ones to watch. You can see with those icons we've got at the bottom here, just to denote those, and you'll see what I mean as we go along. Interestingly, when I was doing some evergreen updates for one of Inform's big government clients, I gave them the choice between the old style of presenting this, so where I talk about everything that's late, everything that's one to watch, everything that's a bite size, and I mix up all the different apps and by timeline, and then I go through all what's new. I give them the choice between doing it the old way, or I do it by app. So we talk about OneDrive, and then we talk about SharePoint, and then Teams, and we talk about what's new, what's late, what's coming soon, but we do it by app. And I would say by a ratio of about 90% to 10%, people wanted it this way. So we're probably going to stick with this because it's working pretty well. Okay, folks, let's have a quick look at our first one. We're going to check out OneDrive. So we just got one thing that's late, and this is the new command bar. You can see here, if I just zoom in just a little bit for you to see, it looks quite nice. And you can see they're just simplifying this a little bit. At the top, you can see the old or the current. And you can see that they're dropping all the words and they're just going to use the icons. So I think that looks quite nice, but you're going to have to wait a little bit longer. It's now due late November. First main one is this OneDrive and SharePoint. Improved move copy user experience. The reason I put it in with OneDrive is that I think from an end user and affecting the most people, I think it'll be OneDrive that people see this the most. So it's going to be easier for you to move and copy files and folders. So it's going to be a new dialogue-based experience to choose the destination for your content. So it's going to make it just a little bit easier for you to decide and to tell the system where you want it to go. But there's actually no changes to the underlying capabilities or settings. If you look at the screen, you can see that's a screenshot that's come with the announcement. I've got to be honest, folks, it doesn't really tell me a lot. And looking at it right now, I'm not sure if it's a massive change, but when it comes out, folks, we'll have a look at it and we'll maybe revisit it as one that's something that's been released. But look out for that, guys, between now and mid-November. So on to SharePoint. We just have one bite-sized item, and this is some new SharePoint templates. So retail, non-profit, and medical, actually, they're rolling out between now and mid-October. There's 4 of them. If this is your jam, then go and have a look at the blog article, and you can have a look at some more details for that, and I'll make sure I include a few more details. Our first main one is private drafts for SharePoint pages and news. Now, I know when I was thinking back to when I was at Zurich Insurance and doing a lot with SharePoint there were times when we had to, or people in the team, they had to publish some results information, and it was really important that it didn't go before a certain time. It was also really important that no one else could see this, even the editors. So this feature would have been ideal. Now, of course, there's a way around it. You can get by, but this new feature here where you can create new private drafts. Look at this top image here. When you're creating the page, you say yes, we want to create it as a private draft, and then when you've done it, you can see that it's saved as a private draft, and then you can share it with individuals, or you can just publish it as normal. Once you've published it, you can't take it back and make it private again. Okay, so this is due mid to late November for most of us. I think that's going to be quite a nice handy feature. So it won't be make a big difference to that many people, but there's people who deal with those really time-sensitive pages. I think that would be great. Okay, so moving on to Stream. So no little nuggets, just straight into our main topic. We've got a toggle for video owners to be able to manage feature settings inside the new app. Let me just zoom in on this a little bit. Let's just have a look at this new button, top right hand corner. So this is so you, right from the player, you can get to the video settings. This is for the owners and anyone with edit rights on it. So if I click on that now, let's just see how this looks. You can see that the video kind of pops out the way a little bit, and we get those new settings up at the side, and that is due late November to February 2022. I'm not sure why that's got such a big tail, especially as it's cloud based, but yeah, it's big 3 months there. And in there you can toggle some of the some of these things on and off, and you can say what's available to people. You can see here that the setting we're turning off or turning on the comments, for example, the transcript and captions, and I bet you'll find more settings finding its way into there. Okay, onto Teams and something late. Remember me telling you about meeting recordings auto-deleting? So it says the proper name is auto-expiration, but really to the rest of us it just means that your recordings are going to auto-delete. Now it's interesting, I noticed on there it previously said the default is going to be 60 days, but last time I read it, it's been updated to 30 days. I think maybe I'll redo the whole article on this as we get nearer to it rolling out, maybe over the next few weeks. I'll read the whole article with some updated info and I'll let you know. But this is getting pushed out to November to January. So this is just for your meeting recordings that have been saved to your OneDrive and SharePoint. So this is like the new way of saving your recordings in Stream. Meeting join custom branding. I talked about this ages ago, didn't I? So this is just so that if you have external meetings, you can just brand it so that it looks more like it's to do with your company rather than just a generic Teams setup. Look out for that, folks, for coming mid to late November. And really, I'm showing. I know that I target like end users, regular users of Teams and 365, but this is one for you to ask your admin to do. You can't get this set up yourself. Well, automated webinar invite. This has created a bit of a storm in a couple of places that I share this sort of thing. So at the moment, and I just find it bizarre that it doesn't already do this, but when you have when you're setting up your Teams meeting and you choose the webinar style and people sign up for it, they don't automatically get an invite. That's going to change in December, and as we get a little bit nearer, I'll tell you about that. Another one to watch is domain customization for your webinar communications. So it just means that it's coming from your domain, so your company's web kind of name, rather than Teams or Microsoft. Look out for that in December, and as we get nearer to that, folks, I'll tell you more about it. Okay, so let's go on to our first full one. This is already live. I think this is the highlight from last month. Teams desktop users can already reply to specific messages. Look at the screen here, folks. Look what the user's doing. So they are clicking on the three little dots, the ellipsis for the message. They're clicking reply, and then when they type their reply, all their colleagues can see which message they're replying to. Remember, this is for chat. It is not for your channel threads. It was already available on mobile for some time, so you might be familiar with this. But on your Teams desktop, it's available already. It's available now. Here's another one that is already live, the View Switcher, a new dedicated menu of view options. So you can see here, so let me just zoom in on this a little bit for you and just show you where we're talking about. So it used to be in here, didn't it? So it used to be in the three little dots in that menu. But you know what? That menu was getting so long, it was getting close to falling off the bottom, and I guess depending on the settings on your screen, it probably already was. So they've already taken quite a few things out of there. So let's just zoom in on that a little bit. You can see here that when you're in a meeting, all your settings for like your choice between gallery, large gallery, together mode, and those other settings on there, that is going into its own, or has gone into its own menu over on the left hand side. That is already live, and I quite like that. Now I don't know whether they're just making that menu that was on the right hand side a bit smaller because it was too big, or because they've got new stuff to put in there. So we'll see in the next few weeks what happens in there. A new search results page is coming to Microsoft Teams. So if we have a look at this, make sure, I'm going to zoom in to make sure that you see this. Remember, this is how it looks. So you do a search, in this case for marketing, and then you can see there we've got a tab for people, and then you can filter. Then we've got messages and files as well. But I wonder whether some people found that a little bit it's just hard to navigate. I have repeatedly heard people say, I can't find anything in Teams. And I gotta be honest, if you're saying you can't find anything in Teams, your organisation just hasn't put enough effort into showing you how to do it. Because honestly, I think you can find anything. If you're one of those people who say you can't find anything, you need to have a word with your organisation because they just haven't trained you and your colleagues well enough. But I'm going to get back on track and stop ranting about companies I don't even know. Let's have a look at this now. So this is the new version. I like this. Let's have a look. So you can have all of your results in one page, or you can use those tabs across top, messaging people, files, and you can see here that the messages are on their own. Further down we've got all the files. You can just scroll down and see the results. I really like that, and they're hoping to improve your results. So they look at the documents that you engage with, the ones that you've already looked at, the people you engage with, what they're doing, and based on that information, but behind the scenes in a graph, I guess, then they're going to hopefully give you better results. Due early to mid-November, so I'm giving you plenty of notes on that. So mid-October, so maybe from 2 to 4 weeks, maybe. Okay, for those of you who are using lists in Teams, so you can get a little bit more of that functionality. Really, if you're already using lists in the browser, then this is just going to be familiar to you because that functionality is just coming into Teams. So the commenting capability available for lists already, that's coming into Teams. And the comments, it doesn't matter where you look, whether you're looking in the browser, on here, wherever you look, the comments will be available everywhere. Due mid to late October, so anytime now really. Music mode for Teams. Now, I remember talking about this back in April, and I think I said something crazy like, I hope they get this out and ready for September when the kids go back to school for their music lessons. And here we are in October, and it's still not done. So, let's just give you a recap. It's the ability to transmit high-fidelity music. You can see here that we've got the option on your device for high-fidelity music mode. Now, do you know what? I can't remember whether this was in this part of the menu before. I thought it was set at the meeting level rather, and you put a setting in the meeting, and then you turn it on during the meeting. You had to remember to set it up before the meeting. I don't remember it being in this menu. It might be that it was. It might be that's what's taken so long while they've been rejigging it. But I just do not remember it being here, but maybe it was. Okay, so you go to devices, and you can see that if we just zoom in a bit for you, you can see here you got the option for high fidelity music, and then you get the option to enable or disable your echo cancellation. Let's just have a look a bit more. So their suggested use is online music lessons, transmitting music performances or other non-speech content. Now, this was of interest to me before because during lockdown, my daughter and I had our violin lessons via Zoom, and it's long since had this type of functionality in. And the teacher, she found a limitation of Teams was just its quality of the audio. So she was super interested in this, although it's been delayed. They recommend that you use professional grade microphones and headphones, and just high quality equipment. But they say that you shouldn't use Bluetooth. I don't know if that's because of the lag or just the lack of bandwidth that you're going to get. And you can see here on the screen that we've got the ability to enable it. We just click it during the meeting, and you can see here that it is on. It's been indicated by that line under there. So the more I think about this, the more I think that they've actually changed how this works. That's why it's been delayed, and it's kind of resurfaced now. I'm sure that you had to set this up in the meeting invite itself rather than here. But we'll see. Maybe I've just forgotten the way it worked. That's due late November to late January. Late November to late January. That's enough. After all this time, it's still going to take them 2 months to roll this out. Okay, let's have a quick look at Viva. So let's just have a look at the general news before we go into our main one. So praise history in Microsoft Viva Insights. So this just means that you can look back at the history, back at the praise that you've given and that you've received. That's due mid to late November. Now, you've heard me say a few times that Microsoft's been a little bit quiet. The speed of the stuff on Teams seems to have slowed down. I didn't know whether this was because they COVID had an effect on things, and they just a little bit slower getting stuff done, or maybe it's just the summer holidays. It's just a lag from the summer holidays, and things are just things just getting wound back up again. Maybe it's because of the big conference Ignite coming up. Maybe they're saving up some announcements. Maybe the next one I'll do of these will be like one of the old ones that took like half an hour, 45 minutes. Or maybe it's because they're spending all their time on Viva. So look at this now, folks. These are the ones to watch. These are Viva features. I think Viva is Microsoft's new baby. I think Teams is time to flee the nest. The new one is Viva. So look at this. So there's learning management things, connecting to third-party stuff, social learning features. Over on the right-hand side, recommended learning content, my learning from mobile. There's just loads of stuff there. I'm not going to go through all of them because actually they're a little bit further out. So we're talking November. In reality, that's probably December or even later, isn't it? But what I will do, folks, on the blog that the main blog that I'll do that accompanies this video, I will put like a paragraph for each one. So if Viva is your jam, then pop over to there and you can read a bit more. Okay, focus time experiences in the Viva Insights Teams app. So let's have a quick look in here. So we just okay, so it's just making it a little bit easier for you to set up your focus time, and you've got just a nice interface there you can see. So you can enroll in Focus Plan and modify your Focus Plan settings directly in the Teams app. Let's just go back one actually. You can see here that this user is setting up, they're playing music. Now, it might be that if your organisation haven't signed up fully, because there's the kind of general branding of Viva, isn't there? So like your daily email that used to be from Cortana, and monthly email. So your insights in Outlook, insights in the top, when you open the app launcher in there, that's being rebranded as well. So there's that general rebranding, but then there's the paid products as well. And if your company haven't paid for that product, then you would just get a breathing exercise to do in place of that. And that is due late November to early December. And I think that's part of the problem with Viva, folks, is that some parts are free, some is just a rebranding, some of it is paid for. Your organisation might have some, but not others, and how they implement it will change your experience. So I think that's why people who I talk to, they struggle with Viva a little bit. But let's see how it pans out over the next few months. I think it's going to be Microsoft's big baby for a while, so we'll see how it goes. Okay, let's have a look across Microsoft 365 now. So these are things that didn't really fit into a previous section. If we've got a main story, then we have a section for that, and then I'll drop all the updates in at the start of that, say for Teams, with these sort of loose ends. But this isn't fit anywhere else right now. So Power Apps, displaying images from Microsoft lists. I've been talking about that for a while, haven't I? So that's late November to mid-December. So Office, recommended files in Office. I spoke about this ages ago as well. This is just where in Excel, Word, PowerPoint, when you click on the File tab, it shows you your recommended files based upon what you've done in the past and what your colleagues are doing. Some people have already got that, but the rest of us should have it by the end of December. Yammer, official communities. This looks quite good actually. So if you've got a community in Yammer, it can be marked as official. So if it's if your company has got a big Yammer presence, you can mark for certain topics. It's the company's official community for that thing, and it just adds a bit of credibility to it. So like the other stuff, folks, in the blog, I'll put another paragraph just to expand on that for you. I really like the look of this. I use Planner probably on a daily basis. The comments area is, and the task notes, sorry, is a little bit like quite a few places in Microsoft, in Microsoft products. You don't have any control over the text, and you type it. You can't. It's difficult to emphasize points or to make anything pop out. But we get enriched text in the task notes and images. Really looking forward to that. Now, I'm sure that I know that I've talked about rich text in the past, coming to other places. So coming to questions inside forms. So in the forms questions, I don't think I've seen that yet. So if that's come, if you've noticed that, folks, and I haven't, pop that in the comments. And also, I think we meant to get rich text for the topic area for the subject area in emails, weren't we? Did I talk about that a few months ago? So maybe they're revisiting that, and hopefully we'll get rich text in more places across Microsoft Office. Okay, so this is quite exciting. It's so exciting I might even have a shave for this. So I'm taking part in a webinar, and it's top tips for hybrid working and employee engagements. So long before COVID hit, long before what's happened over the last 18 months, 2 years, the Inform team were getting this right, and we're helping our clients do this. So I'm doing this with Natasha Bradley. It is on Thursday, the 28th of October at 11 a.m. UK time. And we're going to be talking about a little bit about hybrid working, but then creating these water cooler moments. So just kind of, think about what we lose by working remotely. We lose that kind of engagement and that one-to-one, don't we? And that engagement with your group. So we're going to be looking at that, about how you can recreate that, some pitfalls to look out for, and some new features that might be coming to Teams that would help this. So have a look at that, folks. I'm going to put a link in the notes. If that's of interest to you, then come and join. Now, I know some people don't like coming on these things because they're worried about getting the hard sell. Now, of course, we will talk about what Inform can do for you, but the main part of it, folks, would just be sharing some tips and having a conversation and just doing that. So if you're free, then come along. It'd be great for some of the audience to come and join that session, and I really hope to see you there. Okay, so that brings us to the end of this session. As always, you can follow along on Facebook, on Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, listen to the podcast, go and read the blog. Over on the blog, you can sign up for the newsletter as well. And here's that regular request that I make with YouTube and videos. When videos get the thumbs up, or when people subscribe and they get notifications, it makes such a difference to supporting the channel. So if you would, folks, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe. It does make a big difference and just makes it a bit more worthwhile the time I put into this. But for now, guys, we're done. I hope to see you in a couple of weeks. But before that, I hope to see you on that webinar.